The time has finally come. Today, I'm reacting to The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. Heard anything from My Chemical Romance, but I know they're an extremely popular band. I mean, you just look at the stream numbers here. There's songs with 500 million streams, 600 million streams. So this thing is super popular. The uncut version of this reaction will be available on Patreon. Make sure to go join that down below. The link is down below. And yeah, let's get into it. Black Parade. MCR, let's go. The first track is The End. Okay. Now come on to this tragic affair. As you can see, I wasn't really vibing with his delivery here, his vocal delivery. Okay. Oh, frick. That's the next track. Okay, that was punky, obviously, kind of emo-y. Again, I was a little bit skeptical in the first verse because I didn't love his voice, but it was produced really well. The guitars were just hard-hitting. This little interlude was crazy. Passionate performance at the end here. Just edgy lyrics here, I guess. The Gerard Way is beginning to take a new approach to everyone's attitude towards him. He has broken badly and stopped caring about what anyone thinks. So, pretty cliche lyrics in my opinion. Okay, so I would like to retract this statement. I don't think they're that cringy. Yeah, they're a little bit edgy, but are they as bad as the crap MGK talks about? No. Production was hard-hitting, and I feel like that's all I can really ask for. So yeah, that was pretty good. I liked it. Let's keep it going. A great transition too. And if your heart starts beating, I'll be here wondering, did you get what you deserve? Then your heart can't take this. Good chorus. What is this accent? Like the horns in there. These instrumentals are insane. Holy man. Wasn't crazy about this la 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 thing at first, but I think it actually kind of adds to the fun, you know? It fits. Love the attitude to that track. There's this kind of like a sweet little innocence to it. It's very playful, but also it has that punky edge to it as well. I think I enjoy the lyrics actually more on this one. I like this kind of hook here. If life ain't just a joke, then why are we laughing? Not taking things seriously. Again, it kind of adds to that youthful, innocent, and just fun feel, you know. This track is just fun in general. And these instrumentals, the energy on these guitar riffs, the drums, just the production and the mixing in general, it's all coming together in a really, really nice package here. I'm trying to think if I've listened to any other, like, I've listened to lots of post-punk on this channel. I haven't really listened to any of, like, this just straight pop-punk, emo kind of stuff. I mean, we did American Football. That was more emo, but I guess we did MGK, so MGK is like my only reference point, but this is so much better than MGK, it's not even funny. That was fantastic. Catchy, fun. I can see myself returning to this, definitely. Right. We got a Radiohead cover next, How to Disappear Completely. Oh. A tambourine? Or shaker? Oh. The riffs are so good. You know, I said I wasn't loving his vocals in that first song, but he's grown on me a lot. Like, he's actually really impressive, and he's selling every lyric right now. Heavy. Fantastic. It's a 10, baby. It's a 10. It is the strongest 10 I feel like I've had in a while. That is so good. I feel like I'm gonna like this a lot. If it continues like this, again, I love the attitude. I love the, it's kind of cliche, but it's completely like truthful to me. Like, it doesn't feel forced at all. It feels completely true to himself. He's selling it completely with his vocal performance. And yeah, it's great songwriting as well. That breakdown was amazing. The speed of those riffs at certain parts. And I just love how dramatic this is too. Without You Is How I Disappear. He is just so deep in his feelings and down bad. It's not really sad though. It just kind of, maybe I'm just a psycho, but it's like, it's kind of funny how that does make me sound like a psycho, but it's the way in that he's like, I don't know, maybe it's the tone of it, because it's more angry than sad, but it doesn't really, you know, pull on my heartstrings in that kind of way. It just, it brings that youthful kind of not giving a shit kind of feel, you know? So that was like the worst explanation possible of what I was trying to say. Basically, I was trying to say that, yes, the lyrics are sad. What he's talking about is sad, but it's the way that he presents it in this kind of not serious or kind of sort of apathetic tone that makes the audience not fully take it seriously. But I also think that's kind of the appeal, is because he's not taking it super seriously as well. So hopefully that explanation made more sense. It's that punky attitude, but it feels turned up to 100, but at the same time, it doesn't feel forced at all.
Well, it rains and it pours when you're out on your own. If I crash on the couch, can I sleep in my clothes? You can watch me corrode like a beast in repose, cause I love all the boys and away with the boys in the band.
I like the slight detuning on those chords, those guitar chords. Ooh. Whoa. What was that? So dramatic. I love it. There's kind of like a shoegaze feel to those guitar chords. I like it. Sick, man. It's weird because I feel like a year ago, a year ago, I would have not given this album a chance at all. I probably would have hated this, honestly. I think as I've just listened to more rock music, more punk, post-punk, stuff like that, just guitar-based music in general. It's crazy just to think how a year ago, again, I wouldn't probably give this a chance, but now I'm freaking loving this. I'm connecting with this really hard. I'm loving the songwriting. Like, it's so dramatic. Can you please stop? I love how dramatic it is. I mean, I was just looking at Album of the Year. They're calling it rock opera too, which kind of feels fitting. He's just overselling everything, but it's so endearing for some reason, and just likable. And of course, the production and the mixing and just the performances are remaining top notch as well. I'm loving this. Really, really loving this. 500 million streams on this next one. Oh, I think I've heard this. I didn't know this was a My Chemical Romance song.
When I was
A young boy, my father. Bro, this used to play all the time on freaking The Pulse, when my mom would play The Pulse, you know? It's taking me back. The marching drums. Again, with that kind of operatic, dramatic feel. One day, I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer. Loving the fills here. You grow up. This is so nostalgic, man. Holy.
When you're gone, we watch you walk through.
Carry on. I never appreciated how good this song is. Carry on. Carry on. It kind of feels like Queen at points. This track especially is just like if Queen made pop punk. It's great. A keychain. Just a classic. Just an absolute classic. Iconic. Catchiest song on this album. It takes me back. It's nostalgic. I never knew what the song was about when I heard it on the radio. I never even realized how good it was. I completely forgot about this song until now, but yeah, this is so good, so catchy, so dramatic. Again, it's like Queen if they made pop punk in the best way possible. That's a positive. It's satisfying. It's got a great payoff, especially with the breakdown and the outro. It's catchy as frick. It's so good. The lyrics are great. Again, I'm loving the sound. It's so endearing. It's so nostalgic for some reason. It's just so likable, in my opinion. Which, again, is weird because I feel like a year ago this would come across as extremely unlikable. These chords are just, they're familiar, but they're pulling on my heartstrings, you know? Emotional. I feel like I kind of connected on a deeper level with him on that track, especially during the stripped back parts where it was more, his vocals were more at the forefront. That allowed me to kind of connect with him as a person more. And I love the lyrics, man. I love the lyrics. I love this kind of idea right here. He's hoping that she says this so he can kind of be at ease with this breakup. The instrumental was a little bit bland at points, but overall I think it did serve as a good enough backdrop to this emotional performance here. I feel like this album can do no wrong right now, at least. It's just hit after hit. Oh, that was chaotic. Man, the guitars are mixed so good. It's just a pleasure to listen to, man. It's straight ear candy. Is this sin but also social insurance number? Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know why I thought that. That little roll of the R. It's just little things like that that build so much character and just add to the personality. Love the breaks here. These tracks just do a great job of keeping the energy high, even when it's doing switch-ups like this. It's just so good. So heavy, so energetic, so just good, man. Like I said, the breaks keep it fresh, but they also keep the energy up. It doesn't lose momentum at all. I love the lyrics. Again, I love the attitude here. Tell me I'm a bad man. Kick me like I'm a stray. Okay, so there's been multiple mentions of The Patient. The Patient was also on Welcome to the Black Parade. So is this a concept album? I guess it is. Patient imagining what would happen if he told his loved ones the truth. He worries that they'll dismiss him like a stray. So is he the patient? Is the lead singer the patient? I feel like I've missed something now. So he died, right? That was the last track. So now he's in hell. The patient knows he may be going to hell, but he's taking whoever he can down with him. Maybe it's like an alter ego type thing. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll become a little bit more clear. I didn't know that there was going to be a concept running throughout this, but I think there is definitely now. Like I said, great vocal performance again. That was just more of the same, and it was a joy to listen to, an absolute joy. Let's keep going. So now I'm going to be trying to pay attention to that concept, the running through of the patient now. We're gonna get a pop punk ballad maybe. Okay, so this is still the patient talking here. This is definitely the weakest track so far. Okay, so yeah, like I said, that's the weakest track, easily the weakest track. It's kind of a ballad here. The acoustic and orchestral instrumentation does feel a little bit cheap, cheesy, and dated. And I also think the song could have been a bit longer as well, and they could have let it develop a little bit more so that this outro was a little bit more satisfying. It just feels a bit rushed. Yeah, I do like the lyrics, but I think it hasn't aged well, the sound of it at all. I'm gonna give it the mid. I like the lyrics, I like the sentiment, but it doesn't sound great.
Mama, we all go to hell. Mama, we all go to hell.
Got kind of like an old-timey feel to it.
Mama, we all go to hell. Die when we go, don't blame us, yeah. We let the fire just feed us, yeah. We're all full of lies.
I don't know how to feel about this part. It's got kind of a goofy little swing to it. I mean, it's unique. It's different from the rest of the album, definitely, but I don't know. This is growing on me. Okay, hard cut. This is kind of giving me Hellfire vibes, man. It's absurdist. You know what? That's good. Like I said, I was a bit skeptical with this weird kind of old-timey swing to this part, but it feels fitting, man. It feels absurdist. It feels kind of like something off Hellfire by Black Midi. Obviously, it's not as complex as that. It's definitely way more accessible than that album, but I feel like it kind of gives me that same vibe of this absurd instrumental, this character that's being portrayed here, obviously with the themes of hell, obviously going to hell. I wouldn't be surprised if Black Midi took some influence from this track. Like I said, I love the personality and the character and the attitude of that track again. Is this not the patient anymore, I guess? Because it's saying it's a soldier at war, his death is coming soon, so he attempts to mend his broken relationship with his mother while he still can. Yeah, so I guess we're kind of interrupting that patient storyline. Let me know down below what's going on with that patient thing. Of course, there's probably lore to it that I don't understand. Yeah, this was great. Again, it grew on me like crazy, so that was fantastic. Let's keep going. Just the mixing again, it's heavy, it hits hard, but it's clear as well. I do feel like this track is a bit of filler, like it's kind of just covering themes and sounds and ideas that have already been done, you know? Like I said, that's probably one of the weaker tracks. On its own, like not in the context of the album, it's a pretty solid experience and song, but within the context of the album, it does feel a little bit like filler. Lyrically, it's not covering really that many new themes or ideas, and musically, it doesn't stand out as much as the other tracks. Like every other track pretty much I can point to, and it either brings a lyrical or instrumental idea that stands out and feels like it's adding to the overall experience of the album. That one, for me, at least on a first listen, didn't feel like it really did that. Again, it's kind of continuing with the idea of the patient here. He's reflecting here. He's really in a pretty bad place here, obviously. This line felt a little bit corny. The monsters that I've been for the good guys and the bad guys just felt a little bit too cliche for my liking. So yeah, just kind of felt like filler to me. Like on its own, again, it's pretty solid. It's still gonna get the good. It's gonna get like a light good, but it's close to a mid.
To make a citizen out of you, because they sleep with a gun and
Ford truck month type beat. It kind of feels like butt rock almost. I'm not loving this. This one feels really cliche and bland. It kind of just feels like a scene, a song from a scene in a movie where it's the edgy, kind of emo kids. I'm not loving it. I mean, it's catchy. It's got that going for it. I didn't even realize that was the one with 650 million streams. I mean, that's kind of sad because, I mean, it makes sense because it's probably the most accessible. It's just so cliche, though. It just feels like every other track, it had those cliches in it, but it felt like he was really getting into it, really selling the vocals. This one, he just felt like he wasn't at his best vocally and instrumentally. This one is bland. Super bland. It just feels really just like a watered down version of everything else we've had on the album. Yeah, again, this one feels like something that could have just been left off the album, you know? It doesn't feel like it's adding much. I'm gonna give it the mid. This album, it's got some misses, definitely. It was great to start. It's slowed down a bit here. We'll see how it ends, but I mean, it's still gonna probably be a great experience unless these last 3 tracks are like the worst tracks of all time, but it's still gonna be solid at the end of it, probably. But there has been a couple weak tracks here.
Well, I was there on the day they sold the cards for the queen, but it started with an alright scene.
Another lyric I don't love. That just feels like a cheesy quote a mom would use or something. That's another track where they went with those really emotional kind of pull at your heartstrings chords, and I loved it. I loved overall the sound of that track. There's a couple lines in here that I don't love that just feel really corny, and just again like something a white mom would post on Instagram. Just kind of tacky. You're just a sad song with nothing to say, like especially that. I hate the ending myself when it started with an alright scene. Like, come on. We can do better. We can do better. I know he can do better. He's been writing pretty solid lyrics for this entire album, but those aren't great. Other than those lines, though, this track is pretty solid lyrically. Yeah, I mean, the sound is great. It's just a couple of those lines that I'm not a huge fan of. I think the arrangement and the structure is really what sold me on the track and made it grow on me. It's really emotional and dramatic again, and they really sell that emotion. He's selling the performance here too. So it's not one of the best songs on the album, but it's still pretty solid.
Your heart.
Where's your heart? Those are the inflections that I don't love. Like he did that on the first track. Heart. It just like I don't know. It's really grating to me. And I know that's the emo pop punk style, but it doesn't change the fact that it just sounds kind of corny to my ears. This is the writing I know he's capable of. This is a lot better. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna play this hidden track. Probably not, because I don't know if it's hidden. I feel like that's Famous Last Words is probably the official ender. Lyrically, it does feel like a little bit of a cop out. Like Genius is saying, it lets the listener decide if he's alive or dead. But throughout the entire album, he's been kind of apathetic, which is the point and the appeal. But I feel like maybe there should have been some growth, because he's still kind of apathetic here. It seems like he doesn't care if he's living or dead. And I feel like to really wrap it up in a good way, we should have seen maybe some growth from this dude. In one breath, it is kind of cool that they left it kind of open-ended, but it's kind of like a movie. Like lots of movies have open-ended endings, and sometimes it works. I don't know if it works here. I'm leaning towards it not working right now. On re-listens, I might change my opinion on that, but for right now, it feels a little bit like a cop-out. Instrumentally and vocally, that was, like, lyrically, the writing is still good here. It's just the decision to go with this as the ending that I'm not a huge fan of. But again, if the patient is him, which I'm thinking it is, you're not always going to have growth in life, which is more realistic, I guess. So I do like it in that sense. I'm kind of conflicted on how to feel about it right now. The writing is a lot stronger on this track than the past couple tracks, definitely. This album did shrink on me a little bit. It started off super strong. I think it got a little bit weaker in this last leg here of like the last 4 tracks. Still really solid. Still really solid pop punk, opera rock, whatever you want to call it. Yes, super dramatic, theatrical. In general, I do like the attitude. Does come across as really likable. There's a couple moments where it feels a bit bland, but for the most part, I do find it likable, enjoyable, and just full of personality, character, charisma. The mixing and the production is fantastic. The guitars on this album sound so heavy but clear. The arrangements are great. The performances in general are great. I think he's really impressive as a vocalist. There's a couple ways he pronounces words that kind of lean too heavy into that really exaggerated pop punk style that I don't love, but for the most part, I think he's really impressive vocally. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this. Like I said, a year ago, it's crazy. I probably wouldn't even give this a chance. But yeah, this is pretty impressive for what it is. Is it the most mind-blowing album I've ever heard? No. Is it the most deep or layered? Probably not. I mean, I didn't catch everything. I didn't know this was a concept album going into it. So when I listen to it again, I'll keep that in mind and really pay attention to everything that's going on. I like it. Let me know again down below if the patient is just I guess, maybe not an alter ego, but just a way to refer to himself without directly referring to himself. I'm thinking that's what it is. But if it's not, let me know down below. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this album down below. Leave any comments on if I missed anything, any info that you want me to know. Go join the Patreon, like I said in the beginning. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. You might as well just subscribe. You got nothing else better to do, so why not just, subscribe. Hit it. Now.